Today's commentary is titled, How Many Times Will You Allow Nigerian Rulers to Deceive You Before You Say No More? Dear good people of Eastern Region Biafra, Efik, Ibibio, Igbo, Ijo, Ogoja, Ishekiri, Isoko, Ishan, Urobo, we ask you, how many times will you allow the rogues, the robbers that have been ruling Nigeria, the Hausa Fulani Yoruba oligarchy, the fundamentalist Islamic Sokoto Caliphate, to deceive you, lie to you, and treat you like an animal before you say, no more? We ask you, how many times will you allow them to treat you like slaves before you rise up and chase the barbarians out of your God-given fatherland? We ask you again, how many times? It is now more than 40 years since the barbarians, the armed robbers running the Nigerian government, promised you that they will liberate you and your children from domination, give you freedom and liberty, give you the right to control your land, your oil, your natural gas, and other natural resources in your land. They promised you that under one Nigeria, they will build multi-million-dollar homes for all of you. Your houses will be made of concrete, marble, and glass, and you will have gold-plated beds to sleep on. The Nigerian barbarians have never been seen before. The Nigerian barbarians promised you that they will build such roads in all your towns and villages as have never before been seen in any part of Africa and the world. In fact, that they will pave your roads with gold. These Nigerian savages told you that they will build the most modern hospitals and health clinics in all your towns and villages, and that sickness and death will disappear in all your communities. They promised you that they will provide uninterrupted electricity supply to every home in your towns and villages and make your lives so comfortable that you will be drunk with happiness. These Nigerian savages promised you that clean pipe-borne drinking water will be so plentiful you may never have to even turn off your taps in your homes. You can just let the water run. These Nigerian savages promised you that food will be so plentiful and so cheap that your only worry will be how to prevent yourself from overeating. The Nigerian savages promised you wealth, health, happiness, education, and life more abundant for you, your children, and your families. Yes, these Nigerian savages promised you all these things and more. They promised your parents the same thing. But what did they give you? What did you get from these Nigerian savages, the Nigerian armed robbers, masquerading as president, minister, governor, military officer, head of government agency, permanent secretary, etc., etc.? What did they give you, your children and your families? Tell your children what one Nigeria has given them. Tell them. Tell them those wonderful benefits that one Nigeria has given to you, your family, and your community. Tell them now. Tell them. Tell them how one Nigeria has made their lives so comfortable that they think they are actually in heaven. Go on. Tell your wife. Tell your children. Tell your family. Members of your community. Tell them. Tell all of them the wonderful things that one Nigeria has done for them and you. Go on, tell them. From 1967 to 1975, Yakubu Gowon, the Shosho boy, Obasanjo Awolowo, Antonio Nahoro, told you to rejoice that they had liberated you and your people from domination. Since then, Nigerian savages wearing army uniform and police uniform have occupied your land, your homes and your communities. They have ravaged and plundered your land for 40 years, raped and ravished your mothers, wives and sisters, and murdered in cold blood hundreds of thousands of your people. They are such savages that sometimes after killing your people, they cut off the hands and feet of the dead people just to spite them, the living relatives, and dishonor the dead. Whatever happened to the liberation they promised you? Where is it now? Murtala Mohammed and Obasanjo promised you heaven and earth. They promised you electricity, pipe-borne water, and told you that food will be so abundant that you won't know what to do with food. As they were telling you this, Murtala Mohammed was busy smuggling your one Nigeria into OIC, while Obasanjo secretly took over your father's land through what he called land use decree. You see, these people are psychopathic, lying bastards. Then came Shehu Shagari, the man who saw no evil, heard no evil, and spoke no evil. He flooded federal institutions in your land with his cronies from the caliphate. They took over total control of your land. The NNPC, Nigerian Ports Authority, Nigerian National Shipping Line, Customs and Immigration, all were their own. You couldn't even get a job in the companies drilling petroleum in your own father's land, in your own backyard. Come to think of it, you couldn't even hold jobs in the NNPC, the company that controls the petroleum drilled in your ancestral land, the petroleum that was drilled in your own backyard. When Shagari got tired, the caliphate gave the rulership to Muhammad Buhari. He did not hide his intention. He threw many of your people in jail. While Shagari was sent back to his home in Shagari village, Sokoto, Alex Ekweme, his deputy, was sent to Kirikiri prison to share the same bed with armed robbers and murderers. See how one Nigeria loves the people of Eastern region. Then came the snake, Babangida, the personification of evil itself, the Lucifer with the gap-toothed satanic grin, the man who would kill his bosom friends while drinking beer and eating suya, the psychopath devoid of conscience and human soul. He promised you freedom, liberty, control of your life. He even promised you democracy and the right to elect your own leaders. He promised you security of life and property and life of affluence and abundance. What did he deliver to you? He gave you death of your loved ones by parcel bombs and other nefarious means, disappearance of honest, innocent people in your communities, and completed the total confiscation of your private ancestral land, the land that your great-grandfathers bequeathed to you and your family through the generations. He institutionalized corruption of your people and made it a way of life, and completed turning one Nigeria into an Islamic state. This evil genius, with his twisted mind, would send barbarian Nigerian soldiers in the dead of night to wipe out whole villages in your community, only to announce the next morning that the villages were attacked by neighboring villages in an intercommunal conflict. This deadly man, with the mind of a savage, took the decapitation and despoilation of your cities, towns and villages to new heights. In fact, for him, it was sport.